This is the Benelli M4 EXT. And some people ask why Benelli even bothered.
Why bother?
Fair question. You see, the answer isn't new parts. It's undoing a legal neuter. This isn't a pretty update. It's a practical one. And for the kind of people who actually use shotguns, that matters.
May I suggest the Benelli M4? An Italian classic.
But first, a quick lesson in sad bureaucratic engineering. You see, when the M4 came into the US, import rules and 922R forced Benelli to ship it in a sporterized configuration. Translation, the gun looked like an M4, but Benelli and importers had to neuter or swap certain parts so the rifle shotgun complied with domestic laws. Then the aftermarket filled the gap, and the community spent years turning pristine guns into kind of sort of Frankenstein builds just to get the platform we actually wanted. This M4 gets shipped into the country in what they call a sporterized configuration. Now, you can make changes to it, but there are a certain number of parts that have to be American parts in order for this gun to be legal. Because if they're not, then technically your gun is illegal, according to the ATFers. So what used to happen? Benelli ships a version that's legal at import. Buyers then shop for replacement tubes, trigger packs, stock, sometimes expensive, sometimes badly fitting, to bring the gun back into the configuration they actually wanted.
And we're back.
That process costs time, money, and most importantly, to a certain extent, maybe even reliability. Benelli's answer with the M4 EXT was basically saying, fine, you wanted it complete? Here. We'll stop making you build it.
Are you happy now?
Now, this isn't a vanity project. Benelli isn't doing this because the internet demanded another colorway. The motivation is threefold. There's user demand. The M4 has an active community. People wanted the factory platform, stocks, tubes, controls as intended. Then there's the reliability and fitment. You see, mixing aftermarket parts and import parts can cause fitment headaches. Benelli keeps tolerances and function predictable. And then market positioning. Give the US market a version that requires less owner modification and therefore gets more bench time and less wrench time. Before you finish watching this video, a word from our sponsor. Have you ever thought about making a living in the firearms industry? If you enjoy gun repair, ballistics, and learning about firearms, Sonoran Desert Institute's online courses might just be a good fit for you. To find out more, visit sdi.edu or call 480-999-4767 today. If you teach people to stop Frankensteining their guns, they'll spend more time training and less time troubleshooting. That's good for Benelli, but it's also good for anyone who actually wants a dependable defensive tool, not a weekend project. Okay, let's be specific. What is different on the M4 EXT and why should you care? First is the factory 7+1 tube. You see, the EXT ships with a tube that gives you 7 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. No more buying a replacement tube and hoping your aftermarket parts play nice. That's less time sourcing and more time shooting. Ghost loading still exists, but out of the box, you have tactical rounds in hand. Then there's the 5-position telescoping stock. This is not the skeletonized adjustable stock that makes you do origami with a wrench like this one does. I love the way this stock looks. I hate the way it functions. You see, the EXT stock is positive. Push buttons, solid detents, consistent cheek weld. It behaves like an AR stock, fast to adjust on the move, and repeatable when you should be repeating your mount, not rewriting it. Just look viscerally cool. But I love it also because of the adjustability, because the stock configuration of the stock on the Benelli M4, my arms aren't exactly the longest thing in the world, and so I found myself having to reach just a tad. I could do it, it wasn't a problem, but this makes it damn near perfect. Then there's the improved bolt release. It's bigger, it's more tactile. It's shaped and positioned so that your hands, fingers, whatever you use to actuate this thing, finds it without a search party. Small control changes equal huge operational wins in my book. Now, the Argo system in this gun hasn't changed because it doesn't need to. Dual short stroke gas piston, self-cleaning, forgiving of light and heavy loads. The point here, Benelli kept the plumbing that works and fixed the exterior bits that kind of honestly didn't. And then there's the finishes. As you can see here in this video, I got the FDE version, but they also have an H2O version and also a multi-cam version. Cosmetic? Sure. But they added practical sling attachment points up front and in the rear. That's not style, that's load-bearing functionality for real shit. Now, here's the part where the press release ends and the gun starts talking. Now, on shoulder, the EXT stabilizes faster. The stock geometry makes your cheek well natural and your sight picture honest. The recoil impulse is the same firm handshake I've mentioned before in other videos. Not a kick to ruin your day, but a force you respect. And as I said earlier, running the original M4, this gun just runs really, really smooth. And the recoil impulse it's straight. So when I actually get on the gun, I'm here. It is straight, just back towards shoulder and straight down the gun. Now, the charging handle is something that you can now manipulate without really thinking about it. And that's huge for reload speeds and malfunction drills. When you're running fast strings, ergonomics aren't a luxury, they're survival allowances. And then the M4 EXT still wields like a rifle-shaped shotgun. It's short, quick, and aggressive. You can point and transition like you're running an AR in close. If you like moving and shooting fast, this platform, it really supports that. And then after multiple strings of mixed loads, this EXT cycled light, bird, buck, and slugs without any issues whatsoever. But I'm not really surprised because the M4s run like a freaking champ. Now, the benefit here with this EXT is time and confidence. Less time sourcing parts, fewer compatibility headaches, a factory baseline that's predictable. For an instructor, range owner, or someone who wants a home defense shotgun that won't require a weekend of tinkering, that baseline is worth more than a color or a logo. If you've ever cursed the import process and then cried into a parts catalog at 2 a.m., this one is for you. A factory M4 EXT doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't customize. I'd still run a red dot if your setup calls for it. I might still change light, sling hardware, or pressure pad layouts. But now you start from a better place. Your mods will be preferences, not repairs. I keep saying I'm gonna call it an extension tube for the sake of the fact that it comes into the country with a 5-round magazine limitation, even though technically it's not an extension. It's a replacement of the neutering, essentially, that happens because of stupid laws. This carries 7 rounds, so now I have 7 plus 1. And if you know how to do weird, funky ghost loading stuff, you could probably get more rounds in there. So yes, do your upgrades if they make sense for you. But the EXT means those upgrades are optional now, not kind of mandatory. Benelli didn't make the M4 some fantasy tactical toy. They gave us a functional, predictable, out-of-the-box M4 for a community that spent years playing parts Pokemon to get the platform right. That's not incremental, that is a correction. If you wanted to stop shopping and start shooting, this is the M4 that finally lets you do that. More M4, less wrench.